Hello, my name is Kevin and welcome to the Love Decanter channel. I recently went on a mini holiday to Suffolk, and one of the places I visited was Yoxford Antiques Centre in Yoxford, and people have been telling me, oh, there's too much vintage glass, there's not much of the older stuff. And I was in this place and I was thinking, yeah, they've got quite a bit of old glass, because it's a big place and there's lots of stuff all scattered around, but they did have quite a bit of old glass, and I thought I could just do a video just about older glass. Now, I did spot one thing that doesn't count as antique, but I had to put it in because it was a bit of a sleeper, and I thought I'm going to put this in. But yeah, so this is really mainly old glass, apart from one piece. There's going to be two parts to this because I filmed a bit more than I expected to, but I asked them on spec. They were really nice about it, and they don't know me from Adam. I just showed up and was looking around and thought I could do a video about old glass in here, and so I just asked them, and they let me, I explained what I do, blah blah blah, and off I went. So anyway, it's old glass, and let's get on and have a look at the glass. Hey, I'm here at Yoxford Antiques Centre. I'm having a little mini holiday at the moment, and just on spec, they've let me come in and film because I saw they've got some old glass. I haven't been seeing much of it recently, and there's enough to do, a bit of filming, and I've already put down to buy a couple of things as well, so I'll show you those later as well. Oh yeah, it's a big place. I can't show you all. Oh yeah, I can. Look, it's a really big place. There's nobody walking in. There's people way down there, so we're all good. But yeah, there's a lot of things to see here. So I'm looking in this cabinet here, and there's this lovely pillar cut decanter, and can you see, if I move you can see lovely optical pattern you get from pillar cutting. But then it's got these rings with cutting in between them, and you've got this really fancy stopper, but that's pillar cut as well, so I'm pretty certain that that's original. Got a price of 45 on it. I think that's a really good one because, one, you can get a full bottle of it. Two, it's not really bloomy. And three, it's all original. And this will probably be from the 1820s or 30s. So I knew I'd got some pillar decanters in my website, so I thought I'll start there. And yeah, that's one, but we're not going there. We're going for the cylinder ones because the one we were looking at was a cylinder decanter, and I think this is the closest as far as the body goes. You've got the pillar cutting here that goes underneath, and then you've got this cushion cutting all the way up the neck, but the stopper is like a one-piece mushroom. I don't think it's hollow, this one. It's down the shed, so I can't go and check. But it is pillar cut. This radial cutting is actually pillar cutting. There's another one here. This one here, this is pillar cut. And it's actually got pillar cutting on the stopper, and it's a two-part stopper. If I click this, you can see. You've got this upper part which is blown, and then it's got the stem, and the peg is attached to it. It's not as round as the one we were looking at, and yeah, the neck is very different. But anyway, you get the idea. So what I did do was I went to look for this one here, Andy McConnell, the Decanter Ancient to Modern by Andy McConnell, page 233, and yeah, this is the decanter that's in the book, and he's got 1830 to 40. I think he's got 1830 to 35 for this one. So you've got the really nice time period there. So you've got the cushion cutting on there. You've got this one's a bit more mixed, but the stopper's a mushroom. I think it's more like an umbrella mushroom, so that curves underneath. I was a bit dubious at first, but it's got actually this fine hobnails on here, and then it's got it in a band here, and then it's got it in the on top of this cutting here. So anyway, regardless of that, this has got a hollow 2-part stopper, cushion cutting, pillar cutting. So yeah, 1830 to 40. It's a good date for that, I think. So here we go. I know I said I was only doing old stuff, but I saw this and I had to include it because I'm pretty certain this is a Stuart Crystal pattern. I've only ever seen it in the catalogues. Yeah, that is a stonker. Look at that fantastic pattern. So I know it's not old like I promised, but £25. I'm not going to buy it, but that is a bargain. So yeah, I knew that vase was Stuart Crystal. I had to prove it. Yes, of course. So the place to go and get the documentation is the Stuart Crystal Collectors Facebook group. It's a very nice little group. And if you go into the file section here, you'll see a whole bunch of files. Quite a lot of them loaded by me, quite a lot of them loaded by Ross, who's the admin for this. And in fact, he's loaded a lot more than me, but all the recent ones are mine. Anyway, I thought I'd show you something. So from there, the 1964 catalogue. Here is the vase. Dun dun dun. 30079 is the number. 1964. I thought I'd go forward, check, and here it is again. 30079 in 1972. So it's still there. How many years later? 8 years later. So yeah, that's right. I thought, is it definitely post-war? That's the question. I know it's not in the other catalogues. I thought, I've got the factory drawings for that are post-war factory drawings. Yes. So I had to dig through, and here it is now. 30079. But it says it's 9 inches, and that is bigger than that. So I think that's a bit of a. I'm sure it's bigger than that. I was looking at the picture again. I'm thinking that's not 9 inches. It's got to be this height, at least 10 inches. It felt like a really big vase. I might be wrong, but anyway, it's a really lovely vase. It's a bit of a bargain, I think. I've never seen one in the flesh. I've only seen it like this. That's how I knew, you know. And this. Actually, I just spotted something. So this has got 3 rows on it, and in the factory drawing here, it's only got 2. Let me, I stopped at this point. I'm going to scroll forward, just so I'm stop and go forward. So I've scrolled to the end and it's not there. So somewhere between this factory drawing where there was just 2 rows of leaves and it actually being made, someone added an extra row of leaves. And I think it looks better with an extra row of leaves. It looks, yeah, more coherent design. So anyway, there it is. I think it's pretty rare. I think the price was probably a bargain, real bargain. But I am not a dealer. I am not going to, you know, sometimes I buy something and to sell it later, you know, photograph it and film it, etc., etc. It's such a huge thing. There's a risk in selling it and just sticking it in a post, you know, so I didn't do that. But anyway, it's there if someone wants it, because it is a good thing. Looking at this cabinet here, we've got a few bits of pressed glass. I think these are pub glasses. This one here, this is a pub glass too, but yeah, you've got this really nice, looks, I would say, late 18th century, ale glass, beautiful twist. But the thing that I'm really interested in here is toddy lifter. And they're saying it's AF, and they've got £25 on it. I want to see the AF. That's as found, that means it's got some damage. So yeah, we'll see if we can get that out and have a look at it later. And that might be coming home with me if it's not that bad. We're looking at a page from the Victorian pattern glass and china book, which is essentially a retail catalogue from the 1870s. And here's the glass we were looking at, dram glasses, plain and cut. It essentially is a pub glass. Most of these are, maybe not this slim one, but yeah, they're quite chunky and they're made to last. And yeah, and these dimples, they appear on other glasses, including ale glasses, and this is where you're kind of like later pressed glass, dimpled beer glasses come from. This idea that you'd have dimples on your drinking glasses in pubs. So I've gone to Scottish Antiques, and yes, found an ale glass almost exactly the same as the one we were looking at, and they're dating it 1780. I'm okay with that. I don't think you can really date them really closely at all. Very similar ones were still being sold in the 1840s, that's right. But there's something about this bit here, the stem and everything, that implies it's earlier than those ones where the knop is a bit more blobby. So yeah, this feels like an earlier one, a bit like the one we were just looking at Yoxford. Sticking with the Scottish Antiques website, and yeah, so this is the closest toddy lifter they've got to the one we were looking at, and the one they had didn't have this here, this blob at the top. Now I had a look at it and it looked like someone had filed down the top and it got a couple of notches in it, and I'm wondering, had someone put a silver collar on it or something like that? I don't know. Or had this just broken off and that's how it was? Yeah, the price difference is, I mean, they were selling it for £25 and this is like £110, which is a right price. That's why I was like, ooh, yeah, £25 for a toddy lifter. Oh, I'm going to have a look at that. Anyway, yeah. 1820 is the date they've got on it. I think £25 is fine because it's still a functional toddy lifter. You could still play games, treat your mates to a bit of punch using the toddy lifter, etc., etc. So yeah, not all of them have a top lip, and if I go back, you'll see there's like a million variations. Yeah, so that's how they are. This one's got barely any top lip there. Yeah, that's got hardly any. They all got top lip. I thought some of them didn't. Maybe that's my imagination. That one's got a little ferrule on it. So yeah, silver topped. There you go. So maybe that's how it was. This one hasn't got a top lip either. Same period. So you can just see there's dozens. There's and all slightly different from each other. So anyway, there you go. There's quite a lot of antique books here, and I've spotted two that if I didn't already have them, I would buy them. There's this one here, Old Glass by Hudson. Yeah, it's an old book, but they've got it on for £6, and yeah, it's decent, and it's got some pictures I've not seen elsewhere, so that's always good. There's also wine labels. Now, I know it's not glass, but I have this book as well. I don't know what they've got it on for, but yeah, that is a really nice book, especially if you're collecting decanters and tableware. You need some accessories to go with it, and those are really good ones to get. This cabinet here, or it's not even a cabinet because it's open, it's got a few early pieces. First, I'd like to point this out. This is a Hill Euston. I think it's from the 1930s or 20s. So I know there's a catalogue for that So we'll pick that out anyway, because I've only recently figured out what that is. And then we've got a few. These look like tall jellies, but I'm not sure. They're first half of the 19th century. You've got this one too. Lovely champagne flute. That looks early as well. I've picked it up and had a look, but someone has used it as a, can you see it's a bit cloudy? I think someone's been using it as a vase now. There's some more glasses up here. There was another one, but I've taken that to the counter because that's going to be mine. But you've got this one here, petal molded. Yeah, nice. £16. So this is very early 19th century. Then you've got this one here, £18, folded foot. Yeah, and I think this is, yeah, I can't ping it properly. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to break anything. We're trying to do everything one-handed. Yeah, I think this is, yeah, this is a late 18th century one, I think, with a folded foot. More likely, it might be early 19th century, but yeah. And I'll show you the other one I actually bought at the end. This is the Hill Euston catalogue. The date it's giving over here is 1936 to 39 question mark. 1930s, let's say that. And yeah, this is on the Corning Museum of Glass Library. And here is the decanter here. It's described as an 8494 square Dutch spirit bottle, height 7 inches. And yeah, that's it. Oh, and you buy in a pair. But anyway, this is the decanter. They're quite small and square and chunky. I had one. I think I might have sold it. I'm not sure, but I did have one of those, and I do have a couple of these ones as well, and I'll probably get rid of those as well at some point. But anyway, this is what it is, and it's from the 1930s, Hill Euston. Here we're looking at a page from the book Decanters and Glasses by Thurl Hughes. And yeah, so this is the bit that we're looking at. It says here, designed from the pattern book of Edinburgh and Leith Glass Company, 1811. Now, I'm not saying that glass in the front, the little champagne flute that was in front of the other two, is by Edinburgh and Leith, but it gives you a good possible date for it, or at least a start date. And what's interesting is that this glass here has the similar, looks like it's got an annulated ring or knop like the one we were looking at had. And also, when you see this here, what they're trying to do here is like they've put a line down the middle and they've shown something on each side, and basically they're saying this could be either one of these patterns. There's different patterns, but also it's got these little blazes coming off the top, a bit like the one that we were looking at. So yeah, it's not an exact pattern here, but they're telling you there's multiple patterns here and they're trying to show you them split in half. But it is also showing you there's blazes at the top of the cutting, like that one had. So this looks like a very good potential date for that glass. And you wouldn't put it, I would actually just put 1811 on it and just leave it at that, because this is the closest you're going to get from a period piece of reference. We're looking at the Scottish Antiques website. I've come back here because they've got piles of sort of like lower scale glasses that you don't see in other references. Now, this is the closest one to the little conical gin glass that we were looking at, and it's got petal moulding here. It's not very distinct at the top though, and a bit of engraving. They've got £45. I think that's a bit toppy, but they've sold it, so it's out of stock, so it's gone. But yeah, but this one does have a folded foot, and the one we were looking at doesn't. I think this date might be a bit early for that one, because that one doesn't have a folded foot. Generally, folded feet tend to be more 18th century, and then post 18th century tend not to. There's no fixed date for that, but there's like a general blending of them not having it post that. Anyway, this is a date that they've got. I think I would put 1800 on it myself because it doesn't have a folded foot. And the other glass that I picked up on that top shelf is like this one. This is very close to it. It has a folded foot as well. They've got £40 on this one. This is also sold. It's got the similar grape motif, ball knop, little blodgy knop here at the bottom. I don't know what you call that bit. And yeah, oh, they've called it a cushion knop here. Ball knop, medial ball knop and knop cushion. So yeah, and they've got 1810 on that, and I think that's fair enough. And could be earlier because it does have a folded foot. Don't know, but anyway, this is the type of glass it is, and you are talking glasses that are 200 plus years old. So yeah, and I can't remember the price. The first one we looked at was £16 for something that's over 200 years old, and you could actually still have a little dram out of it. Perfect.
Got an early mould blown decanter. They've got it on for £16. Pity it's not a full size one. Well, they've got written on it. And yeah, so this is, I think this is Sowerby from the 1880s. We can have a go in the catalogues and try and find it. Have a look at how the pattern is. Yeah, and it is, yeah, just completely mould blown one, and even the stopper is not. So then it's a rough fit, which is, yeah, a bit passé, but yeah, not quality, but probably 140 years old. So yeah.
For a change, my brain is not failing me. We're looking at the Sowerby 1885 catalogue that I've downloaded from the victorianpressglass.com website. And yeah, this is the decanter here. Let me expand this. Hang on, I'm pressing the wrong button there. Yay, here it is. Ta-da! Comes in quart and pint and a half pint. So I don't think that was I think that was more than a pint. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, this is the decanter, 1885. I think in the books, when I've seen it in books, it says 1880s. So, but I've looked at the 1880 and the 1882 catalogues. This is the first appearance, so 1885 it is. To me, that's cool because it's just like a piece of pressed glass rubbish, really, honestly. But it's 135 years old. It doesn't get any better than that, really. Or is it 135? Hang on. It's 140 years old? Yes. So, yeah, 140 years old, that piece of pressed glass rubbish. Nobody's managed to chuck it in the bin yet, but that's what makes it cool.
So there you have it. Books, yes, I do have. This is my copy. Oh, sorry. This is my copy of Old Glass by Hudson. Mine looks a bit different. But this is, see, just like normal bits of old glass is like a couple hundred years, but they're sort of like bottom end of the market kind of stuff. That's what I want to see sometimes, because I quite like that stuff. Rather than some of the fancier long ones, etc., etc. And yeah, this is the other one. Wine labels. This is, I haven't got a page open, but yeah, it's just full of all of this kind of stuff. It's a big fancy book. But if you collect decanters, you might want to get a few wine labels. I think eventually I will get around to doing some videos on wine labels because I've got quite a few behind me. Anyway, we will move on. So all the contact details for Yoxford Antiques Centre, description below. All the references I use, description below, and please remember to like and subscribe because it really helps my channel. I'm still going to take over the world one day, but yeah, you just get on and like and subscribe and comment and whatever. And if you have any ideas for films, yes, I do accept those. And yeah, so with that said, thank you for watching. Have a good night and good night.